I just got back from a long road trip to spend a couple of days at the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. You know, that's like paradise for a nerd like me. Here's a strange fact. Before we get to the Mindbender, I have to share this. Did you know the Smithsonian Institute was named after a guy named James Smithson? Smithsonian. He was a wealthy British guy who died back in 1829, and his will ultimately decreed that his fortune would go across the pond to the fledgling United States in order to fund an institution devoted to, in his words, the increase and diffusion of knowledge. Why he did this, nobody knows, because Smithson never even visited the United States when he was alive. However, nearly 75 years after he died, his remains were brought over to the U.S. by none other than Alexander Graham Bell. Yeah, that guy. And they're now buried in a crypt inside the Smithsonian. It's a very weird story, but I like it. Anyway, I have some quick observations for my fellow lovers of road trips. You might have at least one planned for this coming summer. But first, your Mindbender for today. A survey of young adults found French fries to be the most addictive food, followed by blank, the most addictive food. I will give you this much early on. It is a brand name. It's nothing generic. It's a brand name. Oh, and I agree with the answer, by the way. And I am not a young adult. If you couldn't tell, your answer will be coming up. Yes, I do love road trips. Here are some kind of odd things that I've observed about them. I found that it takes about a day or two, once you get back, to stop reading road signs out loud. What is it about traveling that makes us narrate the journey? I know I am not alone on this. Also, we do this thing that is kind of like a gas tank negotiation. As we pass an exit with a gas station, we say to ourselves, oh, I've got plenty. Then you spend the next 40, 50 miles with one eye on your gas gauge, silently cursing yourself for not stopping while you had the chance. And then there's something that I like to call the finish line syndrome. Once you get within the last 2 hours of a long drive, it suddenly stops being a vacation, and now it's just a race to get home. The trip that started as an adventure suddenly feels like an inconvenience. We are funny creatures. You know, a few years ago, I decided that a perfect road trip is where you rent a car and drive for a few days to get to your destination. You get all the road tripping out of your system, but then you fly home. Because we all know the drive out is glorious and exciting, and the drive home, not so good. I will tell you this, though, the answer to today's Mindbender is one of my go-to road trip snacks. I even had some on the way back from our nation's capital. So let's get to it. A survey of young adults found French fries to be the most addictive food, followed by blank. And I told you it's a brand name. Well, it's M&M's. Man, that is so true. So addictive, especially the peanut butter M&Ms. Dude, those are crack. That is a wrap on today's Mindbender. Be sure to subscribe so that you get more of these, and sign up at mindbenderclub.com to have them delivered directly to you. I tell you, more than 6,000 people who belong to the Mindbender Club cannot be wrong. Thank you for your time. I'm Dom Testa.